Why the Greeks despised their god of war. In a civilization defined by epic warfare, by Sparta's ferocity, Athens' naval might, and the glory of the Iliad, there existed a profound paradox. The Greeks hated their own god of war. He was strong, immortal, and relentless, yet Ares was routinely mocked, defeated, and viewed with disdain by both mortals and his fellow Olympians. Why did a civilization that built its legacy on military prowess actively despise the very embodiment of its fighting spirit? The answer lies in the deep division within the Greek soul, a chasm between two very different kinds of war. This is not the story of a powerful god. It is the investigation into why the Greeks valued strategy and order above chaos and bloodlust. We will separate the brutish myth from the complex truth, uncovering why Ares was a necessary evil, confined to the margins of their grandest culture. If you want to dissect the psychological foundations of ancient warfare and understand the cultural blueprint that distinguished savagery from civilization, hit subscribe and turn on notifications immediately. The ancient epic community is ready to examine the flaws of a supposed immortal. Setting the context. The Pantheon's outcast. Ares, the son of Zeus and Hera, was immediately the problem child of Olympus. He was born of conflict and temper, while his siblings ruled with wisdom, crafts, or foresight. Ares brought only brute strength. In a pantheon designed to maintain order over the cosmos, Ares represented the primordial, animalistic urge for violence that the Greeks constantly sought to contain. He was necessary for war, but he was always the first to be blamed for its excesses. Part 1. Two forms of war, Ares versus Athena. The Great Schism of Violence, Phobos versus Logos. To understand the contempt for Ares, we must first recognize that the Greeks worshipped two gods of war, representing two fundamentally opposing concepts. Ares, the spirit of war; Phobos, Ares embodied immediate, uncontrolled violence, bloodlust, and frenzy, mania. He was the raw, emotional surge that drives soldiers to kill without thought or strategy. He represented war for its own sake. Athena, the mind of war; Logos, Athena embodied strategy, intelligent combat, calculated defense, and disciplined maneuvering, Taxis. She represented war waged only for justice, for defense of the polis, and with a clear, rational objective. The god of the berserker. Ares' constant companions were his sons, Phobos, fear, and Deimos, terror. This shows his domain was psychological terror and brute force. The Athenians, who viewed themselves as the pinnacle of civilization, could not possibly align themselves with Ares. Their wars were intellectual battles, planned and executed by generals who studied geometry, rhetoric, and logistics. Analysis of the Iliad. Even in the Iliad, the defining epic of Greek warfare, Ares is not portrayed heroically. He is chaotic, reckless, and easily manipulated. When the great hero Diomedes wounds Ares in battle, with the aid of Athena, it is a moment of profound significance. Intellect and civilization successfully wound and drive out mere brutality. Zeus later tells a complaining Ares that he is the most detestable of the gods. The failure of impulse. Ares consistently fails because he acts on impulse. He switches sides based on whim and passion, undermining the core Greek value of commitment and political integrity. Ares' lack of strategy meant he was destined to lose against the disciplined mind of Athena. just as chaos inevitably loses to order in the Greek worldview. Part 2. The cultural containment of savagery. The isolation of the god. The marginalization of Ares was a conscious cultural choice by the major Greek city-states. Athens. Athens was named for Athena. Her cult was central, and her image, armed and poised, adorned the city. Ares had a small temple outside the city walls, near the Areopagus, Mars Hill, traditionally the site for homicide trials. This geographical placement was symbolic. Ares and his chaotic violence belonged outside the sphere of civilized law and order. Sparta. The exception, not the rule. Sparta provides the exception that proves the rule. Ares was worshipped in Sparta. But even there, his worship was modified. Ares in chains. The Spartans worshipped Ares in chains. This was not a celebration of his freedom. It was a ritualistic admission that his savage power had to be bound and controlled for the good of the military state. Spartan discipline was not Ares' frenzy. It was Athena's taxes applied to the ground. The sacrifice. Spartan sacrifices to Ares were often made before battle, not after, asking him to spare them from unnecessary chaos while granting them victory through discipline. The cult of Asclepius, healing. The Greeks viewed Ares' domain as a disease, a necessary infection of society. This is best illustrated by the reverence for Asclepius, the god of medicine. The polis prized the healer who restored the logos of the body far above the god who inflicted mindless wounds. This reflects the core humanitarian goal beneath the aggressive exterior of Greek society. Ultimate value lies in construction and healing, not destruction. Ares was kept alive because the Greeks knew they could not eradicate the primitive urge for violence within themselves. If you are captivated by these deep cultural conflicts, your subscribe helps Ancient Epic continue to fund deeper investigations into these historical figures. Part 3. The philosophical aftermath and psychological role. Ares and the barbarians. In the Greek mind, Ares became increasingly associated with the barbarians, non-Greek peoples, particularly the wild, uncivilized tribes of Thrace. Thrace. Ares was often depicted as being from Thrace. This was a deliberate literary strategy. Ares' place was where logos did not exist. By relegating their god of war to the savage periphery, the Greeks psychologically distanced themselves from the brutal aspects of their own military actions. The Persian Wars. The Greek victory over the Persians was framed as a victory of Athena, Hellenic reason and organization, over the chaotic, disorganized masses of the East, implicitly associated with the brute force of Ares. Ares as a psychological necessity. Despite the scorn, Ares was never eliminated from the pantheon. He served a crucial psychological function. The outlet. He was the necessary outlet for the dark, instinctual side of humanity. By attributing uncontrollable violence and rage to Ares, the Greeks could simultaneously commit acts of extreme cruelty while maintaining a public self-image of rational control. It was Ares' fault, not ours. The scapegoat. Ares served as the scapegoat for all the immoral excesses of warfare, looting, rape, and mindless slaughter. Athena handled the honorable victory. Ares absorbed the shame. The affair with Aphrodite. The mockery. Even Ares' personal life was a source of constant humiliation. His most famous affair was with Aphrodite, the goddess of love. The scene of their entrapment by Hephaestus, the cuckolded husband, is perhaps the most famous mockery of Ares in all of mythology. Hephaestus, the crippled artisan, the god of cleverness and craft, used a net, technology, cunning, to capture the mighty god of war during the act of passion. This incident reinforced the cultural hierarchy. Brute force. Ares is easily defeated and ridiculed by intelligence and craftsmanship. Hephaestus, the most powerful warrior god, was reduced to a naked, helpless spectacle. Part 4. The enduring legacy of contempt. The Roman translation. Mars. When the Romans adopted the Greek pantheon, their perception of Ares changed dramatically. Ares became Mars. Mars was revered as the second most important god. Following Jupiter, he was the father of the Roman people, through Romulus and Remus, and was the god of defensive warfare, agricultural fertility, and civic honor. Transformation. Mars was disciplined, structured, and an essential part of the Roman social and political contract. He was the ordered, strategic warrior that the Greeks had celebrated in Athena, not the chaotic Ares. Significance. The Roman celebration of Mars confirms that the original Greek contempt was not for war itself, but for the kind of war Ares represented. The Romans simply took the desirable elements of the warrior god and left the chaotic Thracian element behind. The paradox resolved. The mystery is resolved by defining two types of courage. Ares' courage, the temporary, blind rage, thumos. Athena's courage, the enduring, rational bravery, Andrea, demonstrated by soldiers who hold the line through sheer discipline. The ultimate lesson of Ares is that Greek civilization was mature enough to reject its own primal instincts. They understood that a civilization built on reason could not afford to romanticize madness, even if that madness sometimes won battles. Ares remained, not as a source of pride, but as a permanent, unwelcome reminder of the destructive capabilities that the human spirit must always strive to transcend. The story of Ares is a psychological mirror to the ancient Greeks. Do you believe that modern society still confuses the raw violence of Ares with the strategic defense of Athena? Comment below, share your thoughts, and join this major cultural and psychological debate with us. Don't forget to subscribe to the Ancient Epic channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our deep analyses of humanity's greatest legacies. See you in the next epic.